Guys. For today, we're gonna. There's been a lot of questions and that's come up internally too about how do we navigate all these programs? What does it mean? What if I have a scenario? So I'm gonna kind of walk you through real quickly. So just do bear with me. Hopefully you do learn something here. How to navigate, because right, we have like 73 different lenders, guys. Right? No one can claim that. Who can claim that? Right, at Giving True, we have 73, I think, right now. And Brenda or Romy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we have 70 plus different lenders that we can work with, right? So, but when it comes to, your bread and butter, your conventional Fannie Freddie, your FHA, your VAs, and even some jumbo and non-QM, and you have questions about how to navigate all these programs. There's so many of them, and I just need a quick highlight of which one I need to go with, because my borrower has a scenario and I want to see which one is if there's a program that might fit that billing. I primarily use really four. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go over those four. Bear with me. I'm going to share my screen and we'll kind of go through this together. Take notes. If you have a dual monitor, go ahead and follow. Hopefully this is helpful. Number one is Rocket Connect. Okay. Rocket Connect. Got one loan with Rocket. So if you go onto your Rocket portal here, okay, the dashboard or the home, the very bottom on the left side says Rocket Connect. Okay. I'm going to show you how to go through it, and I'm going to show you an actual response that actually helped me get into my one refinance right now. So if you go to Rocket, you know what? Let me clear these out because it should take me to a different screen. So home, Rocket Connect. Let me share this screen now. So what's going to pop up in a new window is this. Okay. So you hit, I don't know why it skipped over it, but you're going to hit pre-underwriting. You're going to scroll down. You're going to hit registration. Okay, so let me do that one more time. So right here, it tells you there's only two options you can choose. Is it technology related or everything else? So it's anything else, right? So it's registration. And you're going to go to guideline and product confirmation or clarification. Okay. And then it'll take you to this. It says a loan number is not required. The reason why it has this is because if you do have a loan, and you click on, if you clicked on Rocket Connect through the loan number, then this will populate here, but we don't. So we just hit launch. Okay. If you hit launch, a new tab shows up, Rocket Connect. So you put your email here, Ragnar, or, Ian at Giving Tree, right? And you could add someone else, Gia, Brenda, the GTL processing team. Okay. Might be a good one. You put no, because let's just say this is strictly an inquiry, but you want to reference that this is for Tom Anderson. Okay. You want to select, and you could select as many as you want. You might want to do a comparison, Fannie, Freddie, or FHA, right? But you'll select the program you want to inquire about, and then you want to ask the question, does the agency require a full 24-month employment history to qualify income? Yeah, I'm actually going to submit this, and hopefully during the time, during that time, I get a response. Giving True. Okay. All right. So does the agency require a full 24-month employment history to qualify income? Are there any exceptions? Okay. And I'm going to submit this. What's wrong with it? Oh, oops. No. Okay. Actually, yeah, it's the no. So I submit it. I kind of want to show you guys in real live time what happened. So now I'm going to share this tab to show you that someone immediately immediately respond acknowledging that that inquiry. Okay. Now I want to show you an actual one that I received before I submitted a loan. So back on March 31st, this is a few days ago. Oops. Here it is. Yeah, well, a few days ago, March 27th. Okay, it says, Ragnar, thank you for using Rocket Connect. I got this email. And my question's right here. Client has a non-subject rental property, okay, which she claims on her Schedule E rental. The client also runs a daycare of that same property and claims Schedule E income. Can we use both incomes to qualify? Okay, the reason why I asked that question, guys, is because just about every other lender was going to require proof of addition or proof of that rental income. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, because this client, this borrower, so this borrower has a non-owner occupied property, and from that property she runs a daycare, but at the same time she also rents out this unit here. And they're not related to each other. I wanted to see if we could use both incomes because there could be, and to my point, the other lender said no. Well, they said no, and then some of them said yes, but that the borrower would need to provide evidence of that income. And quite frankly, guys, even on this recorded line, we could not source that income. Okay, the $48,000 that was being reported on that tax return. But Rocket said, look at their answers, or the answer, we can use both unless the client is claiming rental income on the Schedule C. And the point of this is the business the one that's paying the rental, but they're not. The link below can be blah, blah, blah. So that was it. And then we submitted it, and then we got an approval. And this is that one. There is this file here, and I don't know if I can. This might take a little too long to go through and show you, but there is basically, yeah, there's no condition requiring. There's no condition requiring evidence of that rental income. Okay, so personal tax return, proof of subject for taxes, signed tax returns. Yeah, just believe me that this has been approved, but it wasn't requiring the proof of the rental income. Okay, so that's Rocket. Any questions on Rocket's Rocket Connect? Any questions? Yeah, it's pretty seamless. Let's see if they responded. Not yet, but it's pretty seamless. So I use this a lot when it's like an actual guideline question that that's a little bit more layered. Okay. As for UWM, I'm going to share UWM real quick here. Sorry. UWM has a great little section that you can use. If you go to start a loan, okay, you guys see that? UWM start a loan. If you go to the right, under more tools and resources, loan products, they do a really good job, okay, of breaking down, okay, from a high level overview, all the different programs that you would probably use: conventional, FHA, jumbo, VA, USD, HELOCs, bank statement, investor flex being DSCRs, okay? They do a really, really neat and concise job of highlighting what these programs or basically the matrix, right? The minimum guidelines for the programs, the specific programs, right? So like high balance, you can go up to 90%. Does anyone know how high the LTV can go on just a regular conventional loan? at the conforming loan limit? Anyone? You guys should know this. What is the conforming loan limit right now? Anyone? What is a national conforming loan limit? Nobody knows what the national conforming loan limit is on this call?
850.
Incorrect.
Close, right?
Close, but incorrect.
806,500.
Thank you. You guys are loan officers. You should know this.
806,
806, guys.
500.
806. 806 is the national loan limit. Okay. Now, for a regular conventional national loan limit, what is the highest LTV you guys can go with?
97.
Thank you, Ian. It is 97. Okay, it's 97. But did you know on a high balance, can you go up to 97?
Cannot.
No, you are capped at 10% down, 90% LTV. Guys, I tripped up on this a few times a few years ago, and it got me into big trouble. Okay, I forget too. So this website or UWM does a really good job of breaking down all the pretty, normal, regularly used products, and it gives you highlights of those here. Okay, so if you have a question on, let's say, like, hey, why an FHA loan? Well, because you go up to 580 FICO score. This is a little bit confusing, but it's 97.75 because you can roll in the MI fee there. What else? Jumbo starts $1 over the conforming limit, right? So it's all here. Okay, so this is what I use it for. When you want like a high level overview of all the different programs. Okay. UWM obviously has, a little bit, they have their own versions. Not every lender will have it, but for the most part, you can find, like, if you have a question on Home Ready, right? Do you guys know Home Ready? It's the first time home buyer program that allows you actually up to 97%, 3% down payment and get a home, right? With the special pricing that is. You have to look up the Fannie Mae income tool and all that. Okay? Any questions there for UWM? Good? All right. These are things that I regularly use, guys. Okay? So don't think that you won't need this. It's a good tool, a good a reference to use. The third one that I use regularly, if you have not used it already, you really should be doing this. I'm very grateful to Giving Tree, Peter and the team, Brenda who's on, Chi who is on. Okay. If you guys go to your ERP page, okay. If you haven't used this already, you guys are really wasting time and not using our resources here. If you go to our Giving Tree page and you have a scenario, yeah, there's one, right? So, do we offer FHA products with FICO scores under 580, right? You fill this out, this loan scenario out, okay? It's not difficult. Email, the subject address and state, you can put NA there, estimated value $1 million, loan amount, whatever, 900,000. FICO score is 540, let's say, right? So just fill this out.
Wagner,
can
you share the second screen that popped up so that they can see it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone's paying attention. So this is the screen. This is what pops up. I apologize. Your email address, appraised value, loan amount, FICO score, LTV, property type, loan type. You could choose, full doc or others for, non-QM. Is it a purchase or refinance? The occupancy, term, usually 30 years, prepaid. some of this won't really matter, guys. It's really, and I apologize to C and Brenda in advance for saying that, but really what you want to get down to is this. What is your ultimate question here? Is there a lender who offers FHA with a FICO score under 580, right? And you'll submit this. Okay. Once you submit it, okay, you will get an email from, usually it's Chi. Let me see if I submitted one yesterday. Here it is. Okay. So I submitted a scenario yesterday in the morning, and Chi responded back to me, okay, with this email saying, I'm sharing the spreadsheet for this file. I have contacted the lenders and investors that have no doc programs, and I'm awaiting their response. Okay, so my scenario was, I have these two sisters who don't work, inherited a bunch of money, and they bought a $1.6 million in cash in Fullerton. True story. Okay. The grandparents passed away last year, and they inherited some ungodly amount of money, right? Straight up cash. So they bought this house in Fullerton for 1.6. But I want to say something, but I won't. But let's just say, naive that they are, okay, they need some more money. Okay. And so they want to see if they can pull out $400,000. Here's a problem. They are young and naive and irresponsible. Their FICO scores are 540. True story. I can show you their credit report. And so I was like, okay, it has to be some type of stated income program, right? So that's why I submitted that. And now let me open up. And you guys should save this if you don't have it already. Okay. Under your Giving Tree, let me share this. Under your Giving Tree account, you all should have access to loan scenarios. No, sorry. Wait, is it? Yeah, loan scenarios. Okay. These are all the scenarios that everyone in Giving Tree submits. Whenever you submit a scenario, guys, it is all accounted for. Okay. I could tell you right now, probably a third, if not a quarter, if not a third of these are mine. Okay. So if I go here, I'm going to probably find one, and it's, look, the more we have, probably the harder. We probably have to clean this up sooner or later, but right here at the end, look at this. This is mine. Okay. So if I click on it, okay, it says, there was two lenders we could potentially have gone with. So one lender said the low score makes it challenging. The lowest you can do is 660. So sorry, here it says, sorry, we do not have programs that allow a 600 FICO score. Our community program requires 680. So what's my takeaway from this? Guys, anyone want to take a guess? What's my next step?
Fix their credit.
There you go. Holy cow, guys. You guys awake? I'm going to have to probably request a credit repair, which I've already done with SOS Group. But that's for another time. What I wanted to show you guys is this. Okay. When you submit a scenario request, okay, in through ERP, okay, our team keeps an account of all, okay, of every single scenario that we ask. Okay. So before you ask, I would actually recommend and suggest that you come to this page first. It's a sheet, a Google sheet, and you'll probably find something here. Okay. So this is another one. I had a question about employment contracts that says at will. There's no issue. So what I've learned is that California is an at will state. So there was no issue with this. So because I met a borrower who just got a new job, and their job offer says this is an at will contract. Your job can be terminated at any time. And that kind of freaked me out. And so I asked this question. through ERP. And you'll kind of understand and know when to use ERP or Rocket or UWM, and another one I'll show you. As I said, there was 4. So all of them should not be an issue. Should not be an issue. Okay. At will verbiage not concerning. Right. So obviously I got the gist here.
Yes. It's ready. Some of the sheets were not able to open. Do you know why?
Some of the sheets were not able to open.
Yeah.
Let's see. I
So
don't.
if they're not in the main section, it won't open it because it's hidden. So you would have to find it through the bottom. You have to scroll through the bottom to actually
I
open it
see.
up.
Yeah.
If you go to if you're on the main page on the directory, and if you click one of the top scenarios, it won't show it because it's hidden.
So for instance, the number 3 from the front down. So this page, you find it at the bottom.
Sorry, Freddie, just to clarify, are you saying from here some of them won't open up? I'm sorry.
Number 3.
Number 3, for instance.
Number 3. Okay, let's try it out.
Oh.
Unhide. So we could just hit unhide.
You have
right?
the edit. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have Chi. Do
I
you
have
have
the
edit to this files? Can you unhide them? Because I can edit this.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just so you guys know, we don't have, not everyone has that.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know why it was hidden?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm not the editor on this
Gotcha.
Excel sheet, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a great one. Freddie, good job on pointing this one out. Where can you, or who can originate HELOCs, right? So, yeah, there's quite a few, obviously, and then there's some that doesn't. But
for instance, that didn't open, and obviously, if I'm not an editor, I can't unhide it, things like that. So I think that this is great. I'm glad you pointed that out. But a lot of the scenarios are hitting, so if we can.
Oh, okay. Brenda and Chi, do you guys mind circling back on why a lot of these are hidden for the loan officers?
I'll follow up with Chi, because I think she's the one
Okay.
who has the ownership to this. So I'll follow
Okay.
up with her to make sure she unhides the scenarios.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Any questions regarding the loan scenarios? How to use it? I will say this: our team is extremely fast about it. They're on top of it, but really they're dependent on the lender themselves to respond. Okay, but they do a pretty good job of getting at least a few lenders to respond within a matter of minutes. Okay, and if you actually go through it, there's some really good scenarios that come up. Who has, right? Like here, let me show you this one last one, okay? And just to kind of loan scenario share. So like this one right here, who does have a 10% down payment on jumbo, right? Traditionally, jumbo requires 20% down. And look, there's a lot that don't have it, but read it though. Just because it says no, a lot of jumbos, while they don't require 10% down, they require 10.1% down. Right, so just have your borrowers do 10% plus $100 or something, okay? And then there are some that actually have 10%. We offer 90% LTV, right? Or JMAC, NQM, ARCOM, 90%. So some people don't need that extra 0.1 down payment, right? So, just take time to look through it. Very, very, very resourceful. Finally, and I'm going to end it with this, guys. Do you ever use Google? Okay, I use it all the time. Now, Google, but more specifically Fannie Mae. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. So, I'll just kind of walk you through it real quick. Okay, but all you do is Fannie Mae, and then you go. Are there any exceptions to 24-month employment history? Okay, and usually somewhere up at the top, okay, or somewhere here, you will find Fannie Mae selling guide, or you can just go straight to the selling guide directly. But I just like to go through Google, and all the guidelines are right there. If you've never used a selling guide, guys, you got some catching up to do as a loan officer. Okay, I really mean it. You need to be familiar with a selling guide. This is a selling guide. You can search through it. Okay. But all that information regarding the actual guideline is here. This is where everyone pulls it from. Okay, this is straight from the horse's mouth, right? And for the most part, Giving Tree, for the most part, by way of our correspondent direct lenders, we write to AUS. This is AUS here, guys. Automated underwriting system. There's no overlays here. Okay. So now it does require that you have to kind of search through it a little bit to get your answer. So after you read through this and you can't find the response or the answer that you're looking for, that's when I will go to Rocket. Okay, Rocket Connect. Okay, because then you'll have an actual underwriter take a look at it. But if you need to just get basic information, like how many tax returns do I need for self-employed? Well, I'm sure I can find it on here actually. For self-employed borrowers, DU will issue a message permitting only 1 year if the borrower indicates that they're self-employed with at least 25% or more ownership, and they've been self-employed for at least 5 years. You guys should know that, right? So self-employed borrowers, right, you need 2 years tax returns. But the 1 year tax return program, what that entails is that they have to have at least 25% or more ownership, and they have to have been self-employed for at least 5 years. And that's going to be usually proven by a CPA letter or a business license or something. Okay, but otherwise here it says DU will require 2 years tax returns though. Okay. Any questions on the selling guide? Again, today, just because there have been so many inquiries regarding scenarios and guideline questions, we wanted to show you the 4 main ways you can obtain information. This is not a message to say, hey, don't call Gia or Brenda directly or email them directly. But look, if you're out, if it's a Saturday or Sunday, if it's an evening, or Gia and Brenda and the processing team is swamped because, right, there's going to be a refinance boom coming on, right? And our processing team gets inundated with files and the pipeline is stuffed, and you just have a quick question that you need an answer to, there's other avenues of obtaining that as opposed to waiting on our processing team to respond to your email. That's it for me. Is there any questions you guys have?
Wagner, what site is your go-to for FHA and VA inquiry?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I actually use the FHA, the selling guide as well. I will admit though, it is a headache to use. The 4000.1 do you use it, Ian? Does anyone use it? Has anyone seen it?
I've used it.
Okay.
Maybe you have something new.
Yeah, no, but I will answer your question. I use Rocket.
Okay.
Yeah. But just for the rest of the group here, Paul, Christine, everyone else who has been fairly quiet here, I do use the FHA handbook, the 4001. Here, let me share the screen real quick. But it is a little bit clunkier to use. So look, you can just literally type in FHA selling guide PDF, okay? And that takes you to this right here, okay? And you can literally click on the portable document, guys. There is an electronic version of this too, and I'll show you real quick, but you're at the housing, the housing book, okay? And it's a lot more clunkier, okay? It's not like FHA or the conventional one. Excuse me. It's a title one. It's been a while for me too personally. Okay, they made this a little bit more complicated because usually it'll open up the handbook right away, and you can basically just search it. Let me try this one more time just so you guys see it. Active handbooks. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Yeah, they didn't have this before. But it takes a long time because it's really big. Here, let me stop sharing real quick, see if it loads faster first. I mean, you could bookmark it, obviously, but yeah, they're constantly doing updates because it is so big. It's still going.
Can I ask a question, general question for everybody? How many were caught off guard with yesterday's pricing adjustments?
Yeah.
A few of you? Any of you?
I'm sorry. Were you asking? What were you asking?
How many were caught off guard of yesterday's market volatility? Were you guys looking at? Were you guys still floating? Were you guys looking to lock yesterday?
I for one
locked your loan last week. I locked my loan early in the morning. So, instead of waiting for, alert to lock or bonds are moving or being caught off guard, worsening pricing, I'm just going to suggest for those that are still kind of wanting to float the market, but possibly needed to lock, I would suggest just opening the 10-year treasury, like using Google, go to 10-year treasury yield and just kind of watch where the bond is going.
Yeah.
So before it gets away from you, before you get that rate lock advice or suspended where you can't lock anymore, just kind of watch out for that. When it's getting away from you, perhaps lock.
Yeah.
And not wait for the pricing suspension. Then, you'd definitely be getting the worst case.
Yeah.
So, because by the time you get the alert to lock, more than likely the investors already locked up their shit anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I for one, I wasn't surprised by it at all. Here, let me really quickly just show you this, and then again, you could control fine, but it's very clunky. There's a lot. I think someone mentioned it. I was gonna do the same. You could put it in ChatGPT. But yeah, this is the FHA selling guide. As you can see, it's nearly 2,000 pages. Okay. So I rarely do reference it. Like I said, I just go straight to Rocket. Okay. For FHA to answer your question, Ian.